of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We've approved the minutes from the January 6th meeting. We've approved accounts payable vouchers and the payroll docket. Any motion?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes, vouchers, payroll docket as submitted.
I'll second.
All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Bobby?
They all here?
Are they all here?
Well, they officially closed at 5 o'clock to be delivered at the courthouse. We changed locations. I had somebody down there to make sure if we had a last minute when we get it caught in the right place. I'll just start with what's right here on top, and the first one is Louisville Paving.
Bid openings for the Doe Run truck.
Yes, thank you. See, in order, we got everything in here. This is all the financials. I'm getting close. For Louisville Paving, the total bid is $354,000 even. 354,000. Next one I have is Temple and Temple. And it is $288,393 and no cents. 288,393 and no cents. Next one I have is McAllister Excavating. Make sure you switch together. There we go. $249,580.55. 249,580.55. Next one I have is C-Dam Contracting. $185,815. 185,815.00.
It's the second page.
Nope, that was it. And the last one I have here is KLB Excavating. It's $292,465.80. 292,465.80. I want to personally thank everybody for their work to put these in and submit these, and I'll recommend you guys take these under advisement.
We can do.
Plug these in, step out, plug in the spreadsheet. They'll have that information for when they go. We'll keep that rolling. We've been trying to keep things afloat up here at the garage, just keeping the ditches cleaned out. Most of the stuff's still geared up for salt and snow removal, so luckily we was able to clean up some equipment and clean up the shop a little bit while we was waiting to see if it was gonna snow or not. I'm liking these little snows that we're getting so far, so hopefully they'll stay that way. We know sooner or later we're gonna get one. So far, we've been able to kind of dodge those bullets. Yeah, this was kind of one of the big projects that we've kind of been working on. Definitely been assessing quite a few of them because the next meeting will be on from the paving bids and see how those come in. So I've been spending, feels like as much time underneath the roads looking at the structures and culverts and see what's gonna get replaced and getting those assessed as well. So that's all I've got for right now. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening, Ted.
I'd like to change the agenda just a smidge because I want to do my MOU first. Because if I don't bring back a signed MOU, Lynette will fire me. Make sure we do it first. That is for our cornerstone verification. The state requires us to use a surveyor that is registered to vote in the county. Who is also a certified registered surveyor. That makes the selection process pretty easy. He's the only one. So we gave an MOU last year, very similar to this. He was supposed to do amendment 15, he did 18. So for a full year, we've got 35 to 40 section orders. We're asking to do so. Pretty much the same language we did last year. And now the new county attorney drafted this, so I think it will be acceptable to you guys. If I can get your signatures on that, those are the signers.
Yeah,
I'll make a motion. We go with William Pettit for the section corner perpetuation and restoration MOU.
My second.
Any other discussion? All those in favor, signify by aye.
You guys like pictures?
Yeah. Worth 1,000 words. Oh.
Well,
Yep.
you've seen these.
No, I've seen these. Oh,
You've
sorry.
seen these before. All right, so I won't show you the whole packet here, but
These guys haven't seen
we do have some new pictures. We had a slow down in the cleanup over there. And the gentleman who's cleaning it up has some issues with respect to health and so on and so forth. But these are some newer pictures of, and where you see mud there, that used to be all trash. Unfortunately, with the freeze and thaw we've been having, it's kind of tough to get in there and work. So, but so far, Neely Scrap has been doing it, and he's been, I think, a commendable job so far. He's still got, he admits he's still got a lot more to do. I spent quite a bit of time with him. So I say we keep letting him work at it, and keep working it there. He is, seems to be very communicative with me, and so far, so if you guys don't mind, it's hard to look at those pictures and say it looks better, but if you look at the older pictures, you can say, yeah, it looks better. You can see the ground, which I think is a big plus. Actually, you see the mud.
No ground.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, as we've talked about in the planning commission, we've got to do something because otherwise people aren't going to do anything. So, as we said, maybe if we start doing this, then people will take it upon themselves to.
And we have a contractor who signed up and ready to go for us to do this, and he's this gentleman here can take care of the big scrap metal cars and things like that for us. So I'm very impressed so far with what he's been able to do. Unfortunately, it's not on our time schedule, but he's getting it done. That's important. We did have an interesting situation come up where we had, remember the old Swifty station? They're up in a 2-mile buffer on 62. Used to be, I think it was Chuckles for a little bit, they called it.
Yeah.
Well, we had noticed that we had a complaint there were a number of cars parked up there. And we also had a complaint that someone was actually, that was living on city property, moved up to the Swifty station. In fact, I believe we got some tomatoes from him. But we won't go into that. But I called the owner of the location, and I want to commend the sheriff and his group. We had a good response from Nate Green and Pat Finnegan. Both the sheriffs came out and helped us. To give you an idea of what we were dealing with, these were the, you flip through those are the vehicles that were up there. When I first went up there, was 3 pickup trucks, a car, and a trailer. Then, lo and behold, by Saturday, there was 3 semis and 2 pickups and a trailer.
Multiply it.
Yes,
It's
so
getting
it's
bigger at the
just
same
getting bigger. But then, we had the sheriff show up, and his folks did a very nice job, and should be a picture on the back of that to show that the lot is completely cleaned off.
Yeah.
So they're all out of there. It takes 3 days to get someone, they get 3 days to move their vehicles before it becomes trespass, so. And I recommended to the owner that the fence is post the lot trespassing, so we'll see if they do that. If they don't, it's gonna occur again, so we'll have to. The next one we have is one that you guys, I don't know if you're familiar with this. This is right on the way into Madison. It's right on 56, and it's in the 2-mile buffer. And this is when we started back in 2020 cleaning up, and they made some progress cleaning it up. However, it's going backwards, and it's back to where it was. So we talked to Pat. He said he needs recommendations from you all to write letters to these. And we've got several here I don't want to go over, so but I can get you the names and address, or we get it to Pat. I'll copy you all on it. I'll tell you later. This is one. That was one of the original pictures, but it's back to where it was back in that day. The other issue we've got with these is just taking the pictures, because there's no shoulder there when you get up close to Madison, 2-mile buffer.
Just to drive them by.
So you just, some of them are at a drive-by, some of them are at our own peril.
Is that the one where the motor home used to be?
The motorhome is gone.
Used to be there?
No, it wasn't here. The gentleman that owned that, I understand, passed away. And it has been cleared off. However, it's starting to, but it's not at the point where he wants complaints yet. The other we have is up on Telegraph Hill Road. This is one, the same thing. We started cleaning this up back in 2021 early. And they were doing a pretty nice job. These are current pictures now. They cleaned up around the house, however, when you get to back in there, you get around the garage, there's quite a bit of trash around the garage again. So we got another complaint on that, and we're gonna do a letter from Pat to one of these folks as well. And that's right up there, it's 100 feet from everywhere. That's a guy who repairs cars out there. You get to the back part where the cars are, there's quite a bit of trash there. And I just like that couch, it's something I can figure.
Waiting area.
So that's another one. And we have one that Josh has sent 2 letters to on Paper Mill Road. I think Mr. Niehaus or something, I believe it was, came in and talked to you all about that. And this is basically, if you want to see the letter, this is the letter Josh sent. And it's being returned as non, we don't get any. First letter we sent to Carrollton, Kentucky, they were not there, so it was returned, and then they're actually in Ohio now, I believe. So we sent it to them, and we haven't got any response, so we need a letter from Pat to go to that location. Basically, it's a barn, a house, and it's trees falling on power lines out there right behind the meadows. So we need to get that cleaned up. That's on Paper Mill Road. Yeah, this is, I think you guys got this letter from Mr. Niehaus some time ago. Just to let you know what we're following up on. So we're trying to get this guy to respond to us. For some reason, letters from Pat to people were to respond, so.
They sort of believe it was a house and barn sitting in there.
And the trees are the real issue because they're falling into those power lines back in there.
Took a picture, almost looked like the same, and just. Yeah, it's.
Josh took his life in his hands getting that picture. That's back during summer.
There's a house back there. There's a,
And the last thing is I've been working with Erica Klein. Cook gave her a call regarding Brooksburg. We've got that new boat ramp out there. And we've got some complaints regarding some of the houses out there, being abandoned and not lived in. I've talked to a couple of the people that own property there along that road that comes out from the boat ramp. And this gentleman owns Eagle Hollow Marine, and then Chad Gray owns the property out there. And they're looking, in fact, Chad was before the zoning board, county zoning board, getting approval for a campground out there. What I'd like to do is work on seeing about getting a grant. Erica mentioned something about a planning grant for that area to help give us some grants to help fix up that area as far as maybe the houses or I don't know what we can get yet, but just to let you guys know, we're working on something along those lines because I think it would really help that area from the standpoint of getting it fixed up, getting some of the houses cleaned up that really need some help. So we could go in there and start citing them for stuff, but I'd rather go in the positive route first and getting some grants and see what we can do as far as planning that area because it could use some help. Just to let you guys know. So if Erica comes to you and says, well, write us some grants or something like that, that's what we're trying to do. So anything for me? We're trying to get ahead of springtime before the place really start rolling. Oh, by the way, the iWorks program, we're up and running with that now. We're getting it loaded in. That should be a big help for us as far as loading and building permits and the complaints.
Way to organize those things.
It really is. We'll get rid of this paper and in fact, this is one of the letters that this is one of the reports that's generated. This comes out of iWorks. Right there, it prints all the pictures and everything in a couple of pages, which is great.
Auditors.
Should I put that down for everybody else?
Well, I think we're in agreement at that, some letters to these members.
We'll get the names and addresses and get them to him and appreciate your guys' support.
Okay, I think we need to try to be in nice for years, and we just didn't have the means to do something, and now we have the means to do something, so.
Well, we can help them. We've got people that are willing to work to clean up these properties, so we've got those folks that lined up, so, I mean, it's not gonna be inexpensive, though, it's gonna be expensive, but it's something that we've got some, we've got some money that you guys have allocated for us, and we're gonna use it. Appreciate it. Anybody want these for the scrapbook? Thank you, sir. Thank you, folks. Appreciate your time. Pretty paper clip.
Thanks.
Thank you all. Have a good evening.
Thanks, Mike. Next on the agenda is independent contractor agreement. It's the agreement with our IT support, in-house IT support. So it's been put together by our attorney. Any changes from? So we've been kind of hamstrung with what we've got, but it seems to continue. Pretty reliable on things.
I'll make a motion, we accept this contract.
I'll second that motion.
Okay. Any other discussion? All those in favor signify by aye. Aye.
Horn.
Okay, next is the maintenance agreement with the Infinity voting system. It's annual with Microvote General Corporation. So they can work on the voting machines. Some of $13,000 per year, and this agreement would go from the beginning of this year through December 2025. Sure it's state requirement.
So renewal, basically.
Yep. And the agreement that we had, so we're good. Need a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to renew the annual microvote maintenance agreement.
A second.
Any other discussion? All those in favor signify by aye. Aye. Next on the agenda. No, we're not done.
At all?
No. So now we're going to reorganize the commissioners. We'll elect somebody as president. You make a motion? You want me to?
I would
Okay.
make a motion, we nominate Ron Lee for president of the commissioners.
Of course, I'm going to second it. I second that.
I think he's been a pretty good gentleman,
Mhm.
showed he's got some good skills, so I'm in favor of let him get thrown into the. No. No.
Have him be the figurehead.
I've sat and watched, I don't know.
We'll help you to it.
Yeah, yeah, we will. All right. You want to say anything? You don't have to.
Nope.
Okay.
Just kind of look forward to the 2022 year. This was a little unexpected, but I'll be honored to serve.
Okay, good. So we've had a first, I second it. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All right, you know what happens now? You go on the session. What happens just like we did at the beginning of the meeting.
Wait till next Have a whole extra sheet of paper.
So,
You could take that.
no, buzzing at you, not me.
All righty, so we be organized.
That's it. Dave's got.
I need to let my chair wait. That's no fair. I need to be lower. Keep it from getting hit.
Jack has some things he wants to talk.
Yes, Jack, I seen your email today. Give us an update and,
Well, as you guys know, we're well at it. The steel is going up in the detention area of the jail. We have all the structural frame there, and the joists are coming for B&A soon, in fact, 17th of the month. By mid-February, we will have 17 semis of roofing products coming, all of which need lay-down areas and what have you. I can tell you from experience, and you're darn lucky to have that steel and joists. So I don't see, at least for now, anything that's going to cause us to delay COVID, delivery problems, etc. I say that knock on wood, because it could be the smallest item could plug the system. Anyway, towards that end, and with Kenny and the sheriff, what have you, being in the progress meetings, as you can imagine, as we go, we're going to have change orders and modify things and adjust for things that might have been overlooked in the drawings or things that the sheriff and the commissioners may want to change. There's two things that, well, let's start with the first of the first. As you know, we've got all the footings in, and along the way, we ran into some bad soils. Nothing of great consequence. It could have been far worse. So we have 5 contractors on the job. 3 of the primary contractors, EDH, the general trades guys, that's the big package. Then you have Link Electric, Hussing, Mechanical, the kitchen guy, and of course, Tully Jail. So when we change something on the project, it may affect all of them, so you'll get a change order for each one of them. The sum total of those in combination would be the cost of that change. Okay, so the first one I'm going to propose is, and I've got 2 copies, I'd like you to sign both and then send them down to Sarah at the end and she'll separate them. What these do is they represent a change to the overall contract amount. And the first one is for E&H, and this is primarily dirt work. And you'll notice along here it tells you the areas of the dirt that we impacted. And for the most part, there is backup documents here from the soils engineer, as you can see, as to why we had to do it. So this change order is for $24,252.10, and to be honest with you, I'm pleased that that's all it is. Could have been 5 times that amount, easily. So we're done with the dirt problems, pretty much, I think. There may be some soft spots in the parking lot, what have you, but for now, the worst is over. I will tell you that after these are accepted, you're going to have about $1.4 million and change in contingency left. And you started with about $1.5 million plus. So you're running good on the numbers. So, I don't know whether you want to do these one at a time, as far as passing them through. Another issue that came up, and this was pointed out by Kenny, and it was a good thought. In the medical area of the jail, we have a men's section, a women's section. But if you look at the facility, we've got the laboratories and what have you, we're going to have no showers over here. So Kenny and the architects figured out a way to put a shower in that's usable by both sides by merely closing off doors and what have you. So we put that through the system. And this is Hussing Mechanical, and most of his work is represented by 2 things. The shower in the medical area, and there is some smoke exhaust requirements that when you put the whole project together, certain fans will need certain electrical equipment, so on and so forth. So your editing as the shop drawings come through the system. Anyway, this change order is for Hussing, and it's for $20,366, and there's 2 copies of that there. The next one is Link Electric. This is the simplest of the bunch. Several things happened. He has some smoke exhaust power requirements, which he had to modify some electrical work on. We got a credit because we could eliminate 8 circuits due to the air handling units, so we got a credit for that. And then there's a little work for him to do in the shower room. His net change order is a $584.75 change, so that's fairly minor as change orders go. And the last one, Kenny suggested in the booking area, we have benches that were going to be powder coated. Well, a powder coated bench will last for a while, but after a while it gets all bunged up and what have you. And so Kenny and we agree with him, we're moving from the powder coated benches to stainless steel benches. And there is also a cost, this is Pauly Jail, a cost because he has to provide the shower units. And this change order is $20,152. And that's all the change orders for now. There will be more. One of the big ones that's still outstanding, if you remember, we got a variance on the security glass. Security glass is very expensive. And in essence, glass is glass, and it's because of this little label you put in the corner. Well, we got a variance on that security glass, and it didn't have to be fire rated. The glass, for the most part, doesn't change one iota, as a matter of fact, when the label comes off. Well, when the label comes off, then we have to make some modifications to the sprinkler system. So we get a $200,000 credit on the glass one side, but we got an add on the other. That's yet to come. It will be something under $70,000. So our net credit should be $130,000 to $140,000. But we're still working through the numbers. So that'll yet to come. And there's one last item that will be coming, is the toilet room under the central control for the nurse. And we're working on numbers for that as well.
That was an add-on, wasn't
An
it?
add, yeah.
Which kind of makes sense to have it there, though.
Yeah. One of the things we're going to do, and Bob brought this to my attention, I think it was a great move that we said we'll pay for any stored materials, anything and everything you get your hands on. But that means we have to supervise, if you will, the storage. Where it is it insured, is it designed as ours, and so on and so forth. So that's part of the reason we're getting 17 loads roofing products, because we want it all. There'd be nothing worse than getting 10 loads and come up 7 short, can't find it anywhere, give it all. So to that end, we got to have drop areas, storage areas, if the contractors don't have areas on their own. Before it's over with, we may have to go over to the building next door and have some space over there for some of this material. Shireman wanted to create a laydown area to the west of the jail. In essence, it's a stone area that's temporary, we pull the stone out. And I said, why do we do that? Let's temporarily, not really, let's permanently start developing the back parking lot, and we'll use that as a laydown. That way we're not throwing the cost away. But at the end, we may have to do some grading, add some stone, clean it up before we actually asphalt it. But it's still a bargain. Better if I do that than put the stone down and then pull it up and walk away from it, and the cost.
Well, change orders are a given on a project like
Very
this.
good.
Yes. We know we're gonna have them, we knew that.
Keep them under control.
It's part of construction, yeah.
I can tell you in 46 years, I've never had a project that didn't have one. It's a matter of buying them, but they're all there.
Yeah.
I appreciate all your updates.
Yep. Alright, so, well, I can make motions, but
Yeah, you can make motions.
I'll start with the first one and work our way through.
First.
So the first one, I move we accept the change order for the soil work for,
E&H, I believe.
huh?
E&H.
E&H, with E&H for $24,252.10 with our contract with E&H Construction.
I'll second that.
Any other discussion?
Could have been a lot worse. Could have had to go back in after we had.
I
the
did a
building
juvenile
up.
center, cost $1 million. $1 million.
Had to do some pillar pours or something, oh my God, like
Could have been
one of them did, yeah.
All in favor?
Alright. Alright. Next one is a change order with Hassan Mechanical for smoke exhaust power requirements and work associated with the shower room and medical for $20,366.73.
He's got both.
Oh, okay. You only had one of those. So, make a motion.
I'll second it.
Is there any other discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Next one, we're going to the $500 one. So the one with Link Electric for $584.75. Smoke power requirements and some credit for air handling unit power requirements deduction, and some work associated with the shower room and medical, so dealing with adding in second shower in the medical area. So I move that we accept this change order for $584.75 with Link Electrical.
I'll second that motion.
Any more discussion? All those in favor, signify by aye. Motion carries.
So the last one is with Poly Jail Building for $20,152 to change the cup benches to stainless steel versus powder coat, and then some work associated with the shower area again. So I move that we accept this change order with Poly Construction for those items for $20,152.
I'll second.
Any more discussion? All in favor, signify by aye. Aye.
Need a sign?
Oh, yeah. I got through that part. Okay. Now, or just,
We can have something rolling, but that's crazy.
yes. I've got Troy. Troy, would you give us an update, sir?
Certainly. Good evening.
Good evening.
Just a couple things. You guys will recall, it's been probably 2 or 3 months now, I guess. I told you that we had the opportunity to negotiate and transfer the District 9 mobile command trailer from Scott County to Jefferson County. If we were to buy that type of a vehicle, it would be a couple $100,000. So this was a district asset that was hosted by Scott County that is available to all 12 counties in District 9. It now resides in Jefferson County. It's now hosted by Jefferson County EMA, and it's still available. But Scott County had a little trouble finding the title to the trailer, and it's currently titled to the Scott County Commissioners. This is our application and the documents required to retitle that to Jefferson County Commissioners and get the municipal plate for it, so we can give Scott County their plate back and get it out of their name. And we've had possession, we've been working on it, but that's just the paperwork. It just needs the president of the commissioner's signature, so I'm glad we didn't pencil in Commissioner Bramer's name there just yet, so. But sign it, give it to Sarah later, and we can make those arrangements to get that. The other thing, last month I finally completed the FEMA Basic Academy, which is the last prerequisite that was required for my state professional emergency management or emergency manager credential. So although it's not required, it was just kind of a personal goal of mine that I've been working on now for a while. But, so
Congratulations.
that's done. Thank you. And I hope
You could put initials behind your name or anything?
I doubt that. I have a hard enough time spelling my name. I don't want anything else behind it. Anyway, but other than that, there's Bobby mentioned the snow. We've been lucky last couple times. There's another front coming. I get a sneak peek from the National Weather Service, and there's another front brewing out there. I think it's going to miss us all together, but as with all the other ones, we're watching it too. So stay tuned for more. Any questions for me?
This is a nice looking building.
Thank you very much.
Take good care of it.
I appreciate you giving it to us.
There's a nice young lady back there.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Susie, yep.
Pardon me?
Did you have anything?
Well,
Whoops.
will the changing of the guard, will that also affect the 911 president board, or will that remain the same?
We've made assignments to the committees already.
Okay, that's all I had to ask.
I wonder if she had to meet with you, Ruby.
No. Mr. Thomas?
Yes, sir.
Our sheriff's here. Would you have anything for us, sir?
I don't really have anything at this time, other than half my jail staff has COVID. So we're running on, a skeleton crew. But it's spread out, we'll work through it, make it work. Other than that, do you have any questions for me? I'm at about 200,
No.
so, today.
Yeah,
So it hasn't really dropped any.
yeah.
Cold out.
The temperature has dropped, yes.
Well, no, I meant usually when it's cold, people are looking for a place to stay. And
Well, we've had some, we've had a couple, 3 come in, but, it's they go to court and then they go back out. Most of them are released right back out again. But no, we're persevering, and everything seems to be running well. The jail site seems to be running well, and, they're keeping us appraised of everything that's going on, and I can't ask for any more than that. So,
Yeah, I agree. Well, thank you.
well, thank you.
Thanks for being here.
Congratulations.
No, thank you. I don't know about that.
Well,
Yeah, I do.
I said the same thing when I became sheriff.
Well, does anybody from the audience have anything for the good of our community to bring up this evening? We don't have Steve here to give an RDA. What in the world?
so it's the 10th of February is the next meeting. Check real quick. It was scheduled for a long time and they had to move it to. That doesn't make sense. Move it to- Oh, for us, yes, but the Regional Development Authority has a meeting, it must be the 11th, and 10 o'clock, and it's in the city of Madison. So, all these silly calendars.
Seemed like I did see the 10th, but
Yeah, but that's, well, I think it was, but then I think
They
they,
had to move it.
yeah.
well, we'll
You
get an
keep
update.
talking, I'll find it out, and I'll go back to the emails. And if you can-
Well, Bobby, do you have anything?
I don't believe so.
Believe so. Everything at the animal shelter is coming up. Just appreciate it.
Yeah, we have 2 extra kennels, and we're gonna have to pour 1 more slab. I talked to Bill, that's scheduled to be done, and one of those kennels, she's going to insulate, and what it's gonna be is like an emergency drop. The city officers and the county officers will have access to it. It'll be insulated, and say at 10 or 11 o'clock at night, they have to pick one up or whatever. The animal will only be in there for a few hours before in the morning it's moved in, so it won't be stuck out in the cold or severe or whatever, so. But, we're getting there.
That's good.
She's down to about 25 cats now instead of 60. Got a lot of them outsourced and adopted. Getting there.
Thank you again, Jack.
Well,
Appreciate all the,
come visit us.
yeah, I
Yeah,
go
wear your
by.
warm clothes.
Yeah.
Some of my fondest memories as a kid was doing underground work in the snow and the wet and the cold. Horrible. That's what it was.
As a kid, yeah.
Yeah.
So the RDA meeting is the 18th of February. Yeah, it was the 11th, so it is the 18th at 10 o'clock at City Hall.
Anybody else have anything?
So we're going to meet with someone tomorrow, talking about the stormwater management standards and stuff. So we'll just try to get some ideas on what we as a county need to do to set up a drainage board and do some of those things. So I'll let you guys know what comes of that. Erica's going to be there since she's going to work on the CERC and working on it and see if we can get any help from them on that, or if we're just going to have to do it on our own. But I think we need to at least investigate those things and see what would be necessary for us to do to take a little more proactive approach to that instead of just responding to issues. I sent you some information on the federal government changed the kind of the tightness of the strings on the ARP money and what it could be used for. We still need to set up a plan, and I sent out that to the project, so I'm going to have them look at it and try to decide what that did for us. So it does give us some more leeway in what we can use the funds for. We still need a plan for the State Board of Accounts. So Andrew, who's going to look at the lost revenue, is working on that. He's been sick for the last 10 days or so he's now ready. He called me yesterday. I think I can do something now. So we'll get that information, and then we can start kind of formalizing our plan. And we've talked about some things that we want to use the money for. There's some requests, obviously, so we'll kind of put all those together once we find out what our options are with the uses. I guess on one hand, it's a little surprised, but on the other hand, not really, because with the CARES Act, it was like, okay, you gotta do this, 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 and this, and then it was like, all right, you guys just take care of it, do what you want with it. And so I think the federal government ran into the same thing. They were gonna be pretty tight-fisted on it, and decided that's a little too much work for them, so you guys take it. So, but once we get that, Andrew's input, and then we can kind of formalize that plan and put that together. So to get that information, I'll send that on to you guys. We'll just putting some numbers down that we need help.
Well, we just had our treatment train meeting across the aisle, next room over, thanks to Troy. I think it now has a new name, Residential Treatment Facility Committee. And we had several folks over there, as you see, it ran over into this meeting. We didn't set up another meeting yet. I guess that will be coming up whenever they let me know. Should be here though. Did they say anything to you, Troy, next meeting?
I'm sorry?
Did they ask you for another meeting?
No, nobody's asked me yet,
Okay.
no.
All right. So, anyway, good conversation today, Ian. And I'll make some more phone calls, so I'll leave that alone. We have the city police chief just walking.
He's
Looks
with
like-
me.
It's been 3+ years, I don't feel like I missed a step, so it's been great up here.
Good to have you.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
Anything going on in your world?
It's cold.
Yes.
Yeah,
Thanks for coming in.
yeah, absolutely.
Anybody else? AJ, Bob, you too. Media 3, there's some sitting back here too. Good to have you. Sarah? Sarah's our right arm at the commissioner office.
What's that?
I said, Sarah, sorry.
Sarah, she's fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah. If she doesn't have anything, then you know what then?
I gotta make this motion. I move that we adjourn.
I will second your motion.
All in favor? Aye.
Uh,
Thank you all.
On your